Chosen one, listen closely. Those who obsessed over ruining you, those who plotted against your life, have only destroyed themselves. Every attempt to harm you, every whisper of envy, every scheme of betrayal, Allah turned it all into their downfall and your rise. What they thought would break you became the very reason for your elevation. Today, you will discover why their obsession backfired, why you are untouchable, and why Allah's protection surrounds you in ways they could never understand. This is your reminder. You are chosen, protected, and destined for greatness. Chosen one, understand this clearly. The hatred, envy, and obsession of those around you is not a reflection of your weakness, but a divine sign of your elevation. When people obsess over your life, when they scheme against you, when they whisper and plot behind your back, it is Allah's subtle way of showing you that you are walking on a path meant for greatness, one they could never reach. Their anger, their jealousy, and their attempts to undermine you are not random. They are markers of the light that Allah has placed within you, a light so powerful that it threatens the darkness around you. Just as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced the relentless hostility of those who could not bear the truth he carried, you too are a bearer of a divine mission, a life of purpose, and a destiny that only Allah can fully measure. Their hatred is, in fact, a mirror showing you the strength, integrity, and spiritual stature that you are embodying. Every insult, every betrayal, every attempt to tarnish your name or slow your progress is a confirmation from Allah that your heart, your soul, and your destiny are aligned with His will, that you are being elevated above the chaos, above the envy, and above the limited understanding of those who try to diminish you. Do not waste a moment feeling defeated by their malice. Instead, see it as a divine compass pointing to your elevation, a signal that you are chosen, protected, and walking a path that only the truly destined can endure. Their hatred is proof that you are rising, their obsession is evidence that you are significant, and their failure is a testament that Allah's chosen ones can never be truly harmed by the envy of the weak. So, when their eyes burn with jealousy and their words drip with venom, smile quietly in your heart, for it is a clear indication that Allah is lifting you higher, molding your character, and preparing you for the success, honor, and spiritual elevation that they could only dream of reaching. You are being raised above the pettiness of human spite, above the grasp of the envious, and into the realm where only Allah's chosen ones dwell, untouchable, unstoppable, and destined to fulfill a greatness that no hatred can suppress. Chosen one, know this truth deeply. The protection that surrounds you is not something visible to the human eye, not a shield others can see or comprehend, but it is absolute, unshakable, and orchestrated by Allah Himself. Every scheme, every betrayal, every plot laid against you by those who envy your heart, your purpose, or your destiny was powerless the moment it crossed the boundaries of Allah's decree. They may have thought their words could wound you, their actions could stop you, or their plans could destroy your life. Yet, what they failed to realize is that Allah's guardianship envelops you in ways that no human cunning can penetrate. Just as He protected the prophets from those who sought to annihilate them, the Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, from the schemes of his brothers, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, from the relentless plots of Quraysh. He protects you in this very moment, turning every attempt meant to harm you into an invisible barrier that shields your soul, your mind, and your destiny. You may not see the angels stationed at your corners, the unseen threads of divine timing that prevent catastrophe, or the circumstances that mysteriously work in your favor, but every moment of your life under Allah's protection is evidence that His watchful eyes never sleep and His mercy never falters. The envy of others, their plotting, their obsession to ruin you, These are like shadows that pass through the light of Allah's guardianship without leaving a mark, their efforts dissipating in the face of a divine shield so precise that not a single harm can touch you unless Allah wills it. Their failure is written in every thwarted plan, every unexpected turn, every moment when the odds seemed against you yet you remained unharmed. The invisible protection surrounding the chosen ones is absolute because it is ordained by the Creator of the heavens and the earth, whose knowledge encompasses all things, whose power over life and death is infinite, and whose justice cannot be thwarted. So, when you witness the envy, schemes, and obsession of others, let it be a reminder that Allah is the ultimate guardian, that nothing and no one can alter what He has destined for you, and that your life is enveloped in a divine fortress that the eyes cannot see, the mind cannot fully grasp, and the enemies cannot penetrate. Trust this protection, walk confidently in it, and remember that what they intended for harm has already been rendered powerless by the absolute, invisible, and eternal protection of Allah, for He is your shield, your defender, and the one who ensures that the chosen ones are never truly harmed, never truly defeated, and always guided toward the path of triumph and elevation that no envy or malice can derail. Chosen one, understand this eternal truth. Every attempt by others to break you, every word of malice, every betrayal, every trap they set with envy and obsession, was never a measure of your weakness, but a reflection of the power and potential Allah has placed within you. Their anger, their hatred, their schemes were never capable of harming your heart unless Allah allowed it, and even then, He uses these moments as divine tools to forge your soul, refine your character, and elevate your spirit beyond ordinary understanding. Just as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced relentless opposition from Quraysh, endured mockery, exile, and constant plots against his life, yet emerged stronger, wiser, and closer to fulfilling his divine mission. So too are you being molded in the crucible of adversity, where every attempt to diminish you becomes the very thing that amplifies your strength. The envy of others acts as a mirror, reflecting the resilience, patience, and integrity within you that they could never comprehend or achieve, and every plan they devise to harm you is transformed by Allah into a stepping stone toward your elevation. You may have felt their intentions, seen their actions, and endured the emotional weight of their obsession, yet each of these moments is like a hidden blessing, an unseen test that trains your soul to endure, your heart to trust, and your mind to navigate life with divine wisdom. Their desire to break you inadvertently awakened abilities, courage, and spiritual awareness that you may never have discovered without facing opposition. Their cruelty and obsession became the fire in which your patience is tempered, your faith is solidified, and your resolve is made unshakable. The chosen ones are not defined by what others try to do to them. They are defined by how Allah shapes them through trials, by how they rise above malice, and by how they turn adversity into opportunity. So, when you face people who aim to destroy you, do not despair, do not retaliate in anger, and do not question your path, because every effort against you is silently strengthening your character, fortifying your soul, and preparing you for the success, honor, and divine destiny that lies ahead. Their obsession to ruin you only served to awaken your greatness, highlight your resilience, and prove that no matter how much others plot, the chosen ones cannot be broken, cannot be defeated, and are destined to rise, elevated by the very schemes designed to harm them. Chosen one, understand this divine reality. Those who obsess over your life, who seek to destroy you, who pour their hatred, jealousy, and malice into every plan against you, are not escaping justice. They are stepping directly into the consequences of their own actions, and Allah's law of balance is swift and precise. Every whisper meant to tarnish your name, every scheme intended to halt your progress, every effort to manipulate, humiliate, or control you, returns to them in ways they cannot anticipate. For Allah does not let injustice go unnoticed, and He does not allow the cruelty of the envious to affect the destiny of His chosen ones. The Quran reminds us, "Do not think those who rejoice in what they have done, that it will escape us. Indeed, they will be brought back to us." Surah Al-An'am 6-70. And this is a warning, a reassurance, and a promise. The obsession, the plotting, and the hatred directed at you is a reflection of their own inner corruption, and it will always come back to them multiplied. Every action they take, every lie they tell, every attempt to sabotage you is recorded, measured, and balanced by Allah, and what they intended as harm becomes a self-inflicted wound, a mirror showing them the darkness they carry in their hearts. The chosen ones witness this not with pride or arrogance, but with patience, faith, and serenity, knowing that divine justice does not need their hands. It works perfectly, invisibly, and unerringly. Their plots, no matter how intricate, are ultimately instruments of their own unraveling, for the energy they spend obsessing over your life, trying to manipulate your path, and plotting your ruin, is wasted on futility, and in the process, their own lives are poisoned by the very malice they carried. Karma for the chosen ones is not a random concept. It is a divine principle that Allah has embedded in the fabric of existence, a law so precise that every intention of harm, every secret plan, every malicious thought is eventually returned to its origin, untouched by time or circumstance. They may see you succeed, they may see you rise, they may witness your life blossom in ways they never imagined, and it will bewilder them, frustrate them, and ignite fear in their hearts, because nothing is more terrifying to those obsessed with destruction than to see their own schemes collapse while their intended victim thrives under Allah's guidance. This is why patience, steadfastness, and trust in Allah are essential. You do not need to act against them, to prove them wrong, or to retaliate, because karma, guided by Allah's infinite wisdom, is precise, swift, and inevitable. Their obsession to ruin you is ultimately the blueprint of their own undoing, and their downfall is already written in the unseen records of divine justice. Meanwhile, you remain elevated, untouched, and protected, because the chosen ones are never harmed by the envy of the weak, never derailed by the plotting of the obsessed, and never defeated by those whose actions are already returning to them like a mirror reflecting their true state. So, when you witness the envy, the hatred, and the obsession of others, do not despair or let it weigh upon your heart. Instead, see it as evidence that you are on the right path, that Allah's plan for you is unfolding perfectly, and that their destruction, though hidden for now, is inevitable. Their obsession is the proof of your elevation, their plotting is the signal of your protection, and their ultimate downfall is a testimony to the divine law of karma, swift, precise, and unstoppable, and it serves as a reminder that the chosen ones do not need to fight their battles, for Allah fights them invisibly, flawlessly, and victoriously on their behalf. Chosen one, never underestimate the power of your silence, for it is one of the greatest weapons Allah has placed in the hands of His chosen. When others obsess over you, plotting, whispering, and attempting to destroy your peace, your silence becomes a fortress that shields you from their malice, a sword sharper than any words they throw in envy or anger. The world may try to convince you that retaliation, confrontation, or explanation is necessary, but the truth is that Allah's chosen ones do not need to defend themselves against those consumed by obsession and hatred. Their energy is wasted on chasing shadows, while your quiet composure becomes a visible reflection of your inner strength, faith, and trust in Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, exemplified this principle throughout his life when confronted with lies, slander, and attacks from the people of Quraysh. He chose patience, dignity, and silence over retaliation, allowing Allah's justice and divine timing to dismantle their schemes. Every word spoken in haste to defend yourself against those who are blinded by jealousy risks entangling you in their chaos, whereas silence allows the unseen wisdom of Allah to act on your behalf, turning their plotting into their downfall and their obsession into a proof of your elevation. Silence is not weakness. It is mastery over your emotions, a demonstration of your unwavering reliance on Allah, and a shield that protects your energy, your peace, and your destiny. When they obsess over you, every attempt to provoke a reaction, every plan to humiliate or confuse you, falls flat because you refuse to grant their schemes power by engaging, responding, or reacting in fear or anger. Instead, by remaining silent, you allow the divine currents of justice and timing to work flawlessly, letting Allah's plan unfold in ways that their human eyes cannot see, their understanding cannot grasp, and their malice cannot touch. The chosen ones understand that silence is a signal to Allah, a demonstration of trust, and a protection that amplifies their strength while exposing the weakness, desperation, and eventual self-destruction of those who sought to harm them. The more they obsess, the more their energy is consumed, the more their schemes collapse under the weight of divine decree, and the more your silence becomes a testimony to your elevation, your integrity, and your unshakable faith. Silence is a reminder that your power lies not in argument, not in retaliation, and not in proving yourself, but in walking steadfastly with Allah, confident that every attack against you is already neutralized by His infinite wisdom. It is the chosen one's greatest weapon because it preserves your dignity, protects your soul, and allows the unseen forces of Allah to turn harm into blessings, betrayal into lessons, and obsession into proof of your greatness. So, when you feel the pull to react, remember, the quiet, composed, unwavering chosen one is untouchable, invincible, and protected beyond human comprehension, and the enemies who try to provoke you will ultimately be consumed by their own obsession, while your silence becomes the echo of their failure and the signal of your triumph. Chosen one, pay attention and understand this deeply. Every plot, every scheme, every whisper of envy and obsession directed at you is not just an attempt to harm, but a divine mirror reflecting the weaknesses of those who seek your destruction. When people obsess over your life, when they tirelessly try to manipulate, control, or undermine you, they are revealing far more about themselves than they ever could about you. Their anger, their jealousy, and their incessant plotting expose their insecurities, their spiritual void, and the darkness they carry within, while you, the chosen one, stand untouched, elevated, and protected by the wisdom and decree of Allah. It is remarkable how Allah turns the obsessions of the envious into signs of your elevation. The very individuals who sought to destroy your peace, your reputation, and your progress end up unveiling their true character to the world, displaying desperation, weakness, and a lack of foresight, while you continue to grow in strength, patience, and spiritual maturity. Just as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced relentless plotting by Quraysh, who tried every conceivable way to stop his message, yet their schemes only highlighted their own ignorance, futility, and moral blindness. So too do the efforts of those who fixate on you serve as proof of their inner collapse. Every lie they spin, every plan they devise, and every action taken with malicious intent against you becomes a testament to their own fragility, For Allah ensures that their obsession cannot touch the chosen one unless He wills, and even then it is transformed into growth, wisdom, and elevation for you. The weaknesses they expose are many: impatience, short-sightedness, insecurity, and a lack of trust in Allah's plan. They obsess over outcomes they cannot control, while you remain anchored in divine purpose, relying on Allah's timing, guidance, and infinite wisdom. In their efforts to manipulate circumstances, they show the futility of human arrogance, the danger of envy, and the spiritual decay that occurs when one attempts to harm those whom Allah protects. Their obsession becomes a lens through which you see clearly who is genuine, who is loyal, and who is destined to accompany you on your path, and who is blinded by darkness and destined to be consumed by their own plotting. Allah's wisdom turns every attempt against you into an instrument of discernment. While they are trapped in their own schemes, you gain clarity, insight, and spiritual awakening. Their failures become your lessons, their weakness becomes your mirror of strength, and their obsession becomes evidence of your chosen status. Every conversation you overhear, every action they take in secrecy, every attempt to tarnish your name is being recorded in a way only Allah fully comprehends, and it is being used to demonstrate the stark contrast between their instability and your divine elevation. The chosen ones do not merely survive these attacks, they rise above them, refined, strengthened, and more aligned with the mission Allah has destined for them. And while they expend their energy obsessing over you, plotting your downfall, and attempting to control your path, Allah is using the same events to build your character, deepen your patience, fortify your heart, sharpen your wisdom, and prepare you for the immense responsibilities that come with being one of His chosen. Their plans, which they thought would ensnare you, ultimately betray them, revealing their limitations, their fears, their insecurities, and their spiritual void, while you, the chosen one, remain elevated, composed, and guided, moving forward on a path illuminated by divine protection and wisdom, untouched by their obsession, unharmed by their malice, and rising steadily into the destiny that Allah has decreed for you. So, when you see the obsession, the plotting, and the malicious scheming of others, do not despair, do not retaliate, and do not be shaken, for what they reveal about themselves is more valuable to you than anything they could ever do to you. Their weakness, their desperation, and their moral collapse are proof of your divine elevation, your untouchable position, and the unstoppable power of Allah's protection and guidance in your life, showing clearly that while they strive to destroy, they are the ones being destroyed in the process, consumed by their own envy, obsession, and spiritual blindness, while you, the chosen one, continue to rise, unshaken, unbroken, and fully aligned with your purpose, destined to fulfill greatness that they could never even imagine. Chosen one, this is a truth that the world often misunderstands, but you must grasp it with your heart. Every plan, every scheme, every obsessive attempt by others to derail your life is perfectly timed by Allah in ways that turn their efforts into their own undoing, while simultaneously elevating you. What they believe is their careful plotting is actually a thread in the divine tapestry of your destiny, woven with precision, foresight, and wisdom that only Allah possesses. They may strategize, manipulate, and scheme, thinking they are in control, but their understanding is limited, blind, and confined to the material realm, while Allah's sight encompasses the past, present, and future, orchestrating every detail for the ultimate success and protection of His chosen. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced countless conspiracies from Quraysh, from boycotts to assassination attempts. Yet every scheme backfired because Allah's timing was perfect. He allowed them to act at the wrong moment, to reveal their intentions, and to expose their weakness, all while the Prophet moved forward, guided, protected, and destined to fulfill his mission. Likewise, when people obsess over you, when they plot tirelessly to harm you, Allah turns their obsession into a mechanism for their own defeat. Their impatience, their haste, their desire to force outcomes only highlights the perfection of divine timing, for what they try to rush, manipulate, or control unfolds in a way that strengthens you and weakens them. Every trap they lay, every plan they execute, every whisper they spread against you may seem dangerous, but Allah, in His infinite wisdom, delays, redirects, or neutralizes their actions at the precise moment so that their own schemes become evidence of their desperation, their short-sightedness, and ultimately, their self-destruction. Divine timing ensures that the chosen one is never caught off guard, never harmed beyond what is permitted, and never derailed from the path Allah has destined. The events that unfold in your life, even the ones that appear as obstacles, betrayals, or injustices, are all being calibrated with perfect timing to maximize your elevation, growth, and readiness for the blessings, responsibilities, and spiritual rewards that await you. Their obsession, their planning, and their relentless attempts to control your path are impotent against the timing of Allah, and what they intended for harm becomes a stepping stone for your success, a tool for your elevation, and a mirror reflecting their own failure and lack of foresight. It is crucial, chosen one, that you do not grow anxious when their plots seem overwhelming or when their schemes appear to be gaining momentum. Patience, trust, and reliance upon Allah are your weapons, for divine timing ensures that the right doors open at the right moment, the right people come into your life at the right time, and every attempt against you collapses when it is meant to, often leaving those who plotted against you bewildered, frustrated, and defeated. The chosen ones move with calm assurance, knowing that Allah is orchestrating the unseen details, turning every ill-intentioned action into a means of divine elevation. Their efforts may look intimidating, their obsession may seem relentless, but their timing is flawed, constrained, and perfectly countered by the precision of Allah's plan. The moment they believe they are winning, divine timing ensures they are exposed, humiliated, or redirected in ways they never anticipated, while you, the chosen one, are propelled forward, elevated above the chaos, and aligned with a destiny that no obsession, no scheme, and no human interference can alter. Their desperation becomes evidence of your elevation, their plotting becomes a sign of Allah's protection, and their failure is proof that divine timing governs all affairs. As you witness their obsession, remember, what they attempt to force, Allah allows to unfold at exactly the right moment so that your growth is maximized, their self-destruction is ensured, and your rise is inevitable. In essence, every obsessive attempt to harm you is transformed by Allah into a demonstration of His perfect wisdom, timing, and justice, showing clearly that the chosen ones are never truly threatened by human scheming, never harmed by envy or obsession, and always guided by a force far beyond worldly understanding, a force that turns every attack into triumph, every plot into proof of elevation, and every moment into a step closer to divine destiny. So remain steadfast, remain patient, and trust Allah's timing completely, for in His perfect timing, every plan against you backfires, every scheme collapses, and your path to success, honor, and spiritual elevation unfolds exactly as it should, untouched by human obsession and flawlessly aligned with your divine purpose. Chosen one, listen carefully and let this truth penetrate your soul. The fear, anxiety, and panic that others feel in response to you is not a reflection of your actions in a worldly sense, but a divine indicator of the power, light, and elevation Allah has placed within you. Those who obsess over your life, who scheme tirelessly to control, manipulate, or sabotage you, are often unaware that their own fear is a mirror reflecting the very greatness and spiritual strength they cannot comprehend. Every trembling thought, every restless moment, every obsessive plan directed at you is evidence of the weight of your presence, the influence of your character, and the undeniable power of your destiny. Just as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced enemies who plotted with fear, jealousy, and hatred, yet were powerless to obstruct the path decreed by Allah, so too does your existence inspire fear in those whose hearts are clouded by envy and darkness. Their fear is not about you in isolation. It is about the light, integrity, and divine protection surrounding you, which exposes the contrast between your strength and their weakness, your elevation and their desperation, your alignment with Allah's plan and their disconnection from it. This fear manifests in obsession. They watch, they plot, they analyze, and they exhaust themselves trying to find a flaw, a vulnerability, or a way to bring you down. But their efforts only intensify their panic and reveal the futility of opposing one chosen by Allah. The Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, experienced the envy and fear of his brothers, who could not comprehend the purpose Allah had decreed for him. They plotted, they obsessed, yet ultimately, their plans returned to them empty-handed, while Yusuf rose to a position of immense influence, honor, and divine fulfillment. Likewise, when people obsess over you, the fear that grows within them is a divine sign that Allah has elevated you above the ordinary, that your life carries light they cannot touch, and that your destiny is protected by forces they cannot perceive. Every fearful glance, every whisper of anxiety, every attempt to intimidate you is a reflection of the unseen strength Allah has granted you, the patience to endure trials, the resilience to rise above betrayal, the clarity to navigate life with wisdom, and the unwavering faith that shields you from harm. Their panic, their desperation, and their obsessive attempts to control outcomes are themselves evidence of the alignment between your soul and divine destiny. It is Allah showing you that your presence, actions, and character have consequences in the unseen realm, influencing hearts, actions, and energies around you in ways they do not understand. The chosen ones are not merely immune to harm. Their existence evokes a response that reflects the spiritual imbalance of those who oppose them. Fear becomes the language of their recognition, though they may never admit it, though they may never acknowledge your value. Their fear broadcasts the truth that you are elevated, protected, and guided by a power far beyond human comprehension. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, exemplified this. Enemies feared his presence not merely because of his leadership, but because of the divine light, wisdom, and guidance that emanated from him, a force that no worldly scheme could touch. Likewise, when you remain steadfast, composed, and patient, their fear intensifies because they cannot navigate the divine protection surrounding you, they cannot understand the source of your strength, and they cannot predict the path Allah has ordained for you. This is why obsession often backfires. The more they fear, the more desperate they become, the more visible their weakness is, and the more evidence appears that they are powerless against the chosen one. Chosen ones understand that this fear is not meant to intimidate you, but to reassure you of your status, your light, your faith, your patience, and your alignment with Allah's will are forces that render the malice of others futile. You do not need to respond, you do not need to defend yourself, and you do not need to fight against their fear or obsession. Your silence, your calm, your trust in Allah, and your unwavering focus on your mission are sufficient to demonstrate your strength in ways they will never comprehend. Every fearful glance, every obsessive thought, and every panicked effort they make is a reflection of the reality that you are untouchable, elevated, and divinely protected. Their fear is proof that your light is powerful enough to illuminate the darkness around them, that your spiritual stature is formidable, and that Allah has positioned you in a place of influence and destiny that cannot be threatened by the envy or obsession of others. Let it strengthen your faith, let it deepen your patience, and let it remind you that the chosen ones are not measured by the attacks they face, but by the elevation, protection, and divine alignment that causes fear to rise in those who wish them harm. So, when you feel the weight of someone's obsession, remember, their panic is a mirror of your strength, their fear is a signal of your elevation, and every attempt to intimidate or harm you is being transformed by Allah into proof of your invincibility, your protection, and your destined greatness. You are untouchable, chosen, and elevated in ways their fear cannot comprehend, their obsession cannot undo, and their malice cannot penetrate. For Allah's light within you casts a shadow so strong that it exposes weakness, magnifies integrity, and guarantees that those who tried to destroy you will instead reveal the depths of their own collapse. While you rise steadily, patiently, and gloriously into the destiny that no fear, obsession, or scheme can alter. Chosen one, take a deep breath and understand this profound truth. Everything that was aimed at harming you, every scheme, every plot, every whisper of jealousy or hatred directed against your life, has been transformed by Allah into a blessing beyond human comprehension. What others intended as destruction, what they carefully planned in envy and obsession, Allah has turned into opportunities for your elevation, growth, and spiritual refinement. The same situations that could have broken the hearts of the unprepared, weakened the souls of the impatient, or consumed those without divine guidance, instead became instruments of your rise, lessons that strengthened your patience, and proof of Allah's perfect wisdom. The Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, was thrown into the pit by his own brothers out of jealousy, sold into slavery, and faced unimaginable trials. Yet what was meant for his harm became the pathway to his greatest honor, influence, and fulfillment of Allah's plan. Likewise, the attempts of those obsessed with you, who plotted with malice and hatred, are being converted into divine blessings in ways you may not yet see, but will eventually recognize. Every betrayal, every act of envy, every effort to destroy your peace or halt your progress has been meticulously woven into the fabric of your life by Allah so that their intended evil returns as a source of growth, elevation, and preparation for the destiny that awaits you. Chosen ones, understand that human malice is always limited by the boundaries of divine decree, and no plot, no obsession, no hatred can succeed unless Allah permits it, and even then, He uses it for your benefit, your wisdom, and your rise. What they thought would harm you has instead illuminated your path, revealed hidden strengths, exposed true intentions of others, and positioned you to receive blessings that could not have arrived through ease, comfort, or lack of adversity. Their obsession, their envy, and their plotting have unintentionally cleared the path for you, removing obstacles, testing your faith, refining your heart, and preparing you for responsibilities, influence, and victories that they could never achieve. Each attempt against you, every whispered word meant to tarnish you, every scheme born out of jealousy, is a thread in a divine tapestry that transforms their evil into your good, their obsession into your clarity, and their attacks into proof of Allah's unseen guidance and protection. You may feel pain, disappointment, or confusion in the moment. But remember that every hardship is a divine tool, every betrayal is a hidden blessing, and every act of malice is a means for Allah to elevate the chosen ones beyond what they could imagine. Those who sought to ruin you, who fixated on your life with obsession, have unwittingly become instruments of your elevation, and what they meant for evil has become a blessing so profound that it shapes your destiny, amplifies your resilience, strengthens your faith, and aligns you with a purpose far greater than their limited understanding. The trials they designed out of malice are now the lessons that sharpen your heart, refine your character, and prepare you to embrace your full potential as one of Allah's chosen. Their hatred, jealousy, and obsession are no longer threats. They are evidence of the divine protection and blessing surrounding you. What they intended to break you has instead strengthened you, expanded your insight, and positioned you to receive the gifts, honor, and spiritual elevation that are rightly yours. Every plot that failed, every scheme that backfired, every obsessive attempt that wasted their energy has become a source of divine wisdom, a stepping stone to your ultimate purpose, and a proof that Allah turns evil intentions into blessings for His chosen ones. This is the law of divine justice. Nothing they do can truly harm you. Everything they try against you is absorbed by Allah and transformed into a vehicle for your rise. Chosen ones, see clearly that their obsession and malice are the very things that Allah uses to prepare you for your triumph, to purify your heart, to elevate your spirit, and to place you on a path where blessings multiply in ways that their limited understanding cannot even begin to grasp. Their evil intentions are the catalysts for your growth, your blessings, and your unstoppable ascent. So, do not fear what others plot, do not despair at their obsession, and do not be shaken by their hatred, for Allah has already turned it all into your favor, transforming their evil into blessings, their plotting into preparation, and their obsession into undeniable proof of your chosen status, divine protection, and destined greatness. Chosen one, hear this and let it settle deep within your heart. Every trial, every act of envy, every obsession aimed at you, and every moment of hardship you endured were never signs of weakness, limitation, or failure. They were part of a divine process, a sacred preparation that has been orchestrated by Allah to elevate you into greatness. You were not born for ordinary paths, and you were not meant to be defined by the petty schemes of those who tried to undermine you. Your life has always carried the imprint of destiny, and your rise has been guided by forces far beyond human comprehension. Just as the prophets, peace be upon them, endured trials designed to test, refine, and prepare them for their monumental roles in history, so too have you been equipped with the resilience, wisdom, patience, and strength needed to fulfill your purpose. The people who obsessed over you, who sought your downfall, who whispered and plotted in the shadows, unknowingly played a role in your elevation. Their hatred, malice, and attempts to harm you were like the winds that forge mountains, pressures that shape the soul, refine the heart, and strengthen faith. Everything they intended for harm was transformed by Allah into a tool for your rise, a means to awaken hidden potential, and a confirmation that your path is aligned with the divine plan. Their failures, their panic, and their obsession all serve as evidence that you are walking a path that they cannot reach, a trajectory that only Allah could have designed, and a destiny that is untouchable by envy, hatred, or human limitation. Chosen one, understand this. Greatness is not measured by wealth, fame, or recognition alone. It is measured by the endurance of the soul, the refinement of character, and the alignment with divine purpose. Your ability to remain steadfast, patient, and trusting in Allah, even when others seek your ruin, is the hallmark of true greatness. What they sought to control, derail, or diminish has instead been the exact arena where your strength was revealed, your patience deepened, and your faith solidified. Every whispered word of envy, every obsessive plan, and every act of betrayal against you was a step in Allah's grand design, turning trials into blessings, schemes into lessons, and opposition into proof of your elevation. The chosen ones are not simply survivors, they are vessels of divine light, walking proof of Allah's protection, instruments of wisdom, and exemplars of patience and resilience. You were created to rise above mediocrity, to inspire others through your composure, courage, and unwavering trust in Allah, and to fulfill a destiny that leaves an indelible mark on this world and the unseen realm alike. Your greatness is measured in the way you transform adversity into wisdom, malice into opportunity, and obsession into clarity, understanding that every challenge faced was a divine appointment with your higher purpose. Allah has prepared you for responsibilities, honors, and victories that cannot be achieved by ordinary effort. They require the unique combination of divine guidance, resilience through trials, and patience under scrutiny, which you have been cultivated to embody. Every moment of hardship, every instance where others sought to harm you, has been the crucible through which your strength was refined, ensuring that when the time of triumph arrives, your rise is undeniable, unshakable, and gloriously aligned with divine will. Chosen ones, take solace in knowing that nothing in existence, no envy, no scheme, no obsession can thwart what Allah has destined for you. Your greatness is preordained, your path is safeguarded, and your legacy is being written with every trial endured, every obstacle overcome, and every plot foiled by divine wisdom. What others feared, what they obsessed over, and what they tried to destroy is now the very proof that you were always destined for more, always protected, and always elevated. You are a manifestation of divine will, a testament to patience, trust, and resilience, and a living proof that Allah's chosen cannot be defeated by human malice or obsession. So rise with confidence, walk with faith, and embrace your destiny boldly, for the trials, the schemes, the envy, and the obsession you faced have all been transformed into the very foundation of your greatness, revealing that you are not only untouchable and protected, but destined to fulfill a purpose and leave an impact that only the chosen ones, guided and elevated by Allah, can achieve. Your journey is unique, your light is undeniable, and your rise is inevitable because greatness is not given lightly. It is prepared, tested, and perfected in the hearts of those whom Allah has chosen. And you, chosen one, are living proof that divine destiny cannot be thwarted, divine protection cannot be broken, and the greatness ordained for you will manifest exactly as Allah has willed. Chosen one, now you see the truth. Every trial, every plot, every obsession directed at you was never a sign of weakness, but a sign of elevation. Every attempt to destroy you backfired. Every scheme revealed the flaws of those consumed by envy, and every hardship was a step toward the greatness Allah has destined for you. Remember, you are not defined by the malice of others, nor limited by their hatred. You are defined by the light, strength, and purpose Allah placed in your heart from the beginning. So walk with patience, trust in Allah completely, and hold your head high, knowing that what was meant for harm has become your blessing, what was intended to break you has made you stronger, and what was designed to stop you has propelled you into your divine destiny. The people who obsessed over you will only see their own collapse, while you rise untouchable, elevated, and unstoppable. Chosen one, your journey is sacred, your purpose is real, and your greatness is inevitable. Step forward with faith, because Allah's plan for you cannot be altered, delayed, or defeated.